Hackamore, Hackamore. If it doesn't work, just pull some more. We were talking about Hackamores. I'm going to point out some more things. I guess it's going to be hard for me to do it with this on it. Pull pressure. I want to talk about pull pressure. There's some people, I've heard some people say the pull pressure is made up and it doesn't exist and this and that and the other. It does. It does absolutely exist. So you can see I've got this all wired together here just so she'll keep her head on straight. But this is the pole. And so when people say that no, there's no pull pressure, they're thinking that whether your head stall or your hanger is right here where this wire is. And if that were the case, if it was right there where the wire is, then it would be, your hanger would be right in the middle of the eyeball. And there's a lot of guys, and I'll talk about this on the next episode. Can you see that? My hand in the way? There's a lot of guys that don't like it just below the eye like this. And I'll talk about that later. But if it was just directly on the back of the pole here, it would be right across the eyeball. It's not. That's not where it sits. It sits here. And when you envision, here's the ears of the horse. Right here is where your hanger is going to should sit, and right here is where your head stall should sit. And so when we talk about pull pressure, that's what's going on, is right here. So when the next vertebra hooks on right here, and just as a little side note, if you've ever seen a horse with kind of a slightly crooked head, not grown crooked, but they've kind of got a bulge and they pack their head crooked, that's because this is dislocated. They got in some kind of a wreck as a baby, and it dislocated that. There again, that's from a narcropsy I did on one. But anyway, when this next vertebra is in here, when it sits in here, there's a gap, and it's from, where's my pen? It's from this little dimple right here to that little dimple right there. There's a gap right there where the spinal cord is exposed. It's not covered and protected by bone. Of course, it's covered by a whole bunch of ligaments and a whole bunch of stuff, and it's pretty protected. But when you do the little trick, all the clinicians show you where you press on the little soft spot on the back of their head, and they put their head down so that you can bridle them or do tricks or whatever. That's where you're pressing, is on that little soft spot right there where that bone is exposed, or that cord is semi-exposed, is not covered by bone. And so that's where we want our hanger to sit, right there. And that's also where we want our head stall to sit once we're in a bridle or even in a snaffle bit, because you can get even a little bit, tiny bit of pull pressure out of a bridle or a snaffle bit. But you dang sure can't out of a Hackamore or out of a gag bit or out of a bridle. And so what's going on there is when my hanger is sitting right across like that, and I engage that Hackamore and get all the leverage out of it, that's going to come tight across there, and it's going to press not as much as I'm showing with my finger, but I'm over exaggerating it to show what's going on there. But when you get all the leverage out of the Hackamore, that's going to pull tight and put some pressure on that exposed part right there. And that's what pull pressure is. Some people are a little scared of it, like when you get to a gag bit or something, because that does put a lot of pressure on there. But you're not going to hurt anything. It may hurt. The horse feels pain when you do that and does not like it. And if you, depending on how you've trained them, they may freak out and flip over and hurt you. But you're not doing any damage there. You're just putting pressure on another pressure point. And that's where the leverage out of a Hackamore works. That's what's going on with a rope halter. You've got your rope halter adjusted right there. When you pull on that to lead the horse, it puts pressure on there. If your horse is the kind of horse that runs backwards when you pull on him, or freaks out and pulls the barn down when you have him tied, it's because he's pushing into that pressure that's on that little exposed part right there. So just throwing that out there for everybody. Maybe next time, maybe next time your horse does something you might think, oh, wait a minute, I'm putting an exorbitant amount of pressure on the exposed part of his spine there. Maybe I ought to do something different or come up with a new plan, because that's what's going on right there. So that's that.